हेलो।
हेलो रितेश।
जय बालाजी।
जय
जय
बालाजी।
बालाजी।
कैसे हैं
लवली।
आप जल्दी उठना पड़ा आज।
अच्छा है। सो गया था जल्दी कल।
अच्छा, नहीं
आई
नील ने
स्पोक टू।
बताया कि आप तो रात में भी 2 o'clock उठने को तैयार थे। मैंने कहा दैट्स रियली नॉट गुड।
नहीं, एक्चुअली दैट इज द टाइम व्हेन आई जनरली गो टू स्लीप। आई वर्क एज अ जर्नलिस्ट, so I work late in the night. Normally this is my sleeping time, so I'm more comfortable at 2:30 in the night than 6:30 in the morning.
माय गुडनेस।
Wow.
वाह। चलिए ठीक
You
है।
had a very good interview with my sister Sheila and her husband Chad, and inspired us to as well share our stories with you about our mother. And then after we're done, my daughter Ritika and son Akshay, so the grandkids, they wanted to also share some stories with you. So maybe if you want to do that back to back after our interview, if you have time, we can
Yes,
do that.
I think that that would be a very good idea. You
Okay.
know, I've known your father for the last 11 years, but
ओह।
thankfully, because of your mother's birthday, I got an opportunity to talk to all of you. Uh, so I met Chad, Sheila. I spoke to Sam Jr. yesterday, and then
Oh, okay.
I spoke to his friend Sam Pitroda
Oh, really?
tonight, and
No.
now you're there. So you're neither the eldest nor the youngest. You,
We're both middle. Actually, I'm the middle child, and she's the middle child in her family as well. Yep.
lovely. So, what are your thoughts on celebrating your mother's 80th birthday this way by instituting this Judy Award? It's a great responsibility. I mean, it's a start. I hope all of us are able to take it forward year on year. That's what your father wants, which I think is a great idea. What are your thoughts when you heard about it for the first time?
Oh, I was so happy. I mean, she's like a saint, like an angel. I mean, like literally the most selfless individual that I've ever known. And I've been so proud to share that information with my American friends and colleagues, and they are just in awe of something that auspicious. I know in India just attaining that age is so uncommon, and to have both my mother and father in their health at this stage in their life, no, it's truly a blessing. And I can't thank you all enough for all of the efforts that you've done. She's always been kind of the silent heroine, or the glue that's really held the family together. My dad was very, I mean, he's very focused, business minded, and really that's his skill set. My mother, with her short stature, but her kindness, her smile, I think it really speaks volumes. And then I don't know if you want to share some of your thoughts on this Judy Award for
नहीं।
her 80th birthday.
या मुझे अच्छा लगा था वो अवार्ड का बारे में। इट्स अ बिग डील। आई मीन पता नहीं, क्योंकि मैं जितना जानती हूँ उनको, मैं हमेशा उनसे मजाक करती हूँ कि यू शुड रियली लिव 100 years सो दैट यू नो उनकी छत्र छाया में हमेशा। क्योंकि शी नेवर, मतलब मैं बॉम्बे से हूँ, तो आई डेंट नो मच अबाउट एनीथिंग ऑफ दिस फैमिली। सो लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगा कि राइट, कि इफ शी इज अराउंड, सब कुछ इतना सिंपल है, सब कुछ इतना अच्छा है। लाइक शी नेवर लाइक, मुझे तो खाना, फ्रॉम कुकिंग टू एवरीथिंग इन जनरल इन लाइफ, उन्होंने इतना सिंपल करके, जैसे आपने एप्पल पाई का बोला था, कोई भी चीज उन्होंने इतनी सिंपल करके मेरे सामने रखी कि आई नेवर फेल्ट कि इट्स मच इजियर। जब ऐसा लगता है कि चीजें आप सीख सकते हैं जल्दी, अगर वो सिंप्लीफाई करके और एक बहुत अच्छे तरीके से प्रेजेंट की जाए। वो कभी ऐसे नहीं बोलती थी, ओ यू डोंट नो दिस, यू डोंट नो दिस, जस्ट लाइक दिस इज हाउ इट्स डन। यू वांट टू लर्न, वेल एंड गुड. अगर नहीं कर सकती तो भी ठीक है. तो आई ऑलवेज जोक अराउंड दैट शी शुड लिव 100 years.
Of
क्योंकि
course.
या डेफिनेटली. और आपने बहुत अच्छा किया. मतलब मैंने जितना देखा कि आपने रियली में आपकी अप्रोच और जो भी जैसे भी आप इन्वॉल्व हैं डैडी के साथ, मुझे, लेकिन आपने बहुत अच्छा. एंड डेफिनेटली आई कैन नॉट मेक इट बिकॉज ऑफ माय किड्स हियर. ये आ रहे हैं इंडिया, बट डेफिनेटली आप रियली यू विल मेक इट हैपन वेरी गुड. या दैट तो मैं सोच रही हूँ कि बहुत अच्छा जाएगा ये, जिस तरीके से आप प्रेजेंट करेंगे मामी को.
या
या
वी आर ट्राइंग आवर बेस्ट. आप लोगों सबसे मुलाकात अगर होती तो बहुत ही मजा आता था. अनिल, आप अकेले ही आने वाले, मतलब
हाँ, क्योंकि
Yeah,
ये लोग
चिल्ड्रन
yeah.
कॉलेज
आल्सो
में
नॉट
हैं.
कमिंग?
I think, yeah, children are not coming, and I think my mother might not know, or I might surprise her. Let's put it that way. My father knows I'm coming, but I figured I'll keep it, somewhat on the down low,
She
and
might know, she might not know, but
yeah,
yeah,
but
that's
no, because I just went to India
in summer,
in
yeah.
July and August. We usually go in the summer. Children are still in school, so that's usually the best time. So had I known anything about this, I would have probably gone for a shorter time in the summer. And but actually, I have been thinking more and more because of their age, wanting to spend more time. Maybe instead of going once a year for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, maybe I should go twice a year for 2 weeks, and see them more often. So this is nice. I'm going alone, and Sheila just left actually this morning, so she'll be there before me. And no, it'll be a nice family reunion of sorts, because we very rarely all get together, the five of us, with everybody living in different parts of the world and the country. It's going to be a nice occasion to be together with family.
Of course, of course. You know, the way I know your mother, even if she knew that you were coming and if she knew that you wanted to be a surprise, she'll make you feel that it's a surprise, you know.
आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा. बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने.
Yeah,
Even if I think she might know because daddy को मालूम है. I think
yeah,
daddy
yeah,
knows. Yeah,
yeah.
he told daddy because yeah, but it's like she will. Yeah, you're right, very right on the money. के वो ऐसा feel कराएंगी कि that was just a surprise for her.
यश, मैंने देखा है कि उनके पास ये कैपेबिलिटी है. वो भाप सकती हैं कि आप क्या फील करना चाहते हैं और वो आपको एग्जैक्टली वैसा फील करवा सकती हैं, यू नो.
हाँ, मुझे हमने पिक्चर्स देखे थे. आप इस वीकेंड थे राइट वहां पे?
Yeah.
लास्ट वीकेंड आई वाज देयर. इस वीकेंड भी था मैं
हाँ,
पिछले.
डैडी ने कुछ पिक्चर्स शेयर करी थी. उसमें आप थे, क्योंकि देख लिया था, इसलिए नील ने पहचाना कि आप भी थे.
हाँ.
Well, just one of my nicknames. I think my very first trip to India, I was hardly 2 years old, so Sheila was a baby, and everybody that time called me Pucci because
Oh yeah, you were. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
So,
don't get it.
but
नील हमेशा इमोशनल हो जाते हैं. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he's
so
always, yeah, he used to always follow his मम्मी को. तो everybody used to call him that. Yeah, कि तुम मम्मी is पुच्छी हो.
yeah, so yeah, very attached, and always been probably closer to her than my father, than anybody, just because of our closeness and connection. And she still talks about the stories when my Ajia, my grandmother, came from India to the US. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and whatever I could do for her, for my grandmother, I did. And she still remembers those stories when she tells my children that he wanted his Ajia to be happy.
And
And
then language was a problem. उनको इंग्लिश समझ में नहीं आती थी, but there was like a communication. बोलते
yeah.
हैं कि and you know अजी ऐसी थी, ये नहीं छुओ वो नहीं छुओ, but वो बताती हैं कि oh used to do this for your अजिया. कुकिंग तो आती नहीं थी 7 पे, तो किसी को भी कुकिंग नहीं आती, बट वो फिर भी मेरे बच्चों को बताती हैं कि oh he used to make this बादाम का दूध एंड ऑल दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स फॉर हर. की बट लैंग्वेज समझ नहीं आती थी उनको. इंग्लिश नहीं आती थी, इनको इतनी ज्यादा हिंदी नहीं आती थी, बट
Yeah, so similar to Sheila, we all grew up. My mother spoke Hindi at home, and we learned English in school. So, she would talk to us in Hindi, and we would always respond in English. So it's like a switch flips. When I go to India, I become pure Deshi, and the Hindi just flows. But something about being here, the environment maybe. So my children are the same way. They understand everything that Ranjana speaks, but they also respond in English. And but I think that it's good to have that upbringing that my parents did for us, and we have very fond memories of India. And I take my family to India nearly every year, every summer, as much as we can. They should know the culture, and they call it motherland. And I think, again, a reference to mother and mommy, and we lovingly called her mommy, which in India I think means mama, mommy, but for us she was always mommy.
बिकॉज यहाँ पे मॉमी बोलते, तो मुझे भी समझ नहीं आता था ये लोग मॉमी मॉमी क्यों बोलते, तो यहाँ पे मॉम का मॉमी हो जाता है, बट हम लोग क्या तो मामा की वाइफ को बोलते हैं ना मामी। तो फिर हमने कहा पता नहीं लोग क्यों मॉमी। फिर यहाँ जब मैं आई तो मैंने कहा अच्छा ये लोग यहाँ पे मॉमी,
या मम्मी बिकेम मॉमी।
हम लोग मम्मी बोलते हैं, राइट, हम लोग इंडिया ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश है तो मम्मी कहते हैं हम लोग, तो लेकिन ये लोग मॉमी कहते हैं, तो मैंने कहा बहुत डिफरेंट है।
So I was speaking to Sam Jr., your elder brother, and then I spoke to Sheila as well. I could see progression in the personality of your father. With Sam Jr., your father appears to be uh, hard on the outside, but very careful on the inside. With Sheila, it seems that your father had given enough freedom that she could stand up to him. Um, I could see that progression. And you are somewhere there in the middle. You experienced your elder brother and you experienced your younger sister as well. Would you like to recollect uh, how he changed with time, and perhaps that helped your mother to cope better with him?
Yeah, I think the best recollection I have is, see, my brother being the eldest, they always have the toughest time. They are paving the way, they are pushing the boundaries, and I was a very receptive observer, I should say, was probably the best title. I saw everything he did and made sure that I was a shy, quiet kid, but I tried to, be the best I could based on his experience. And Sheila, being the only daughter, she also, I think that first generation Indian Americans, it's very challenging, because everything is so different here than in India. And with parents both being born in India and children being born here, it's like a 180-degree opposite culture wise. So we had a lot of experiences at different schools, Christian schools and public schools. So I think I probably got the softness from my mother. My grandmother, Sheila, I think alluded to in the interview, is a 100% copy of my father. And my grandmother actually my Ajia protected Sheila if she ever got in trouble, because she would say to my dad, you were the same as her. Why are you getting mad at her? That's how you were. And so, I don't think my dad realized it at the time, but her nature and his nature is very similar. And my brother Sam, like I said, firstborn, eldest son of the eldest. So my dad is the eldest of all of his brothers, and Sam is, the oldest son. So I think I was caught in the middle. I picked up qualities of both siblings, but I think I probably identify closest to my mother, just her nature, her quietness. You cannot tell, even if she is angry. I don't think anybody can ever tell. And whatever emotion she felt, she would keep inside. And what she showed the world outside was that she is a strong, independent woman that doesn't need anybody. And that's probably the best trait I got from her. And I've instilled that in my own children, that independence. If you can do something yourself, I think Sheila talked about my dad building homes and my mom, hanging drywall and, working on cars and making sure everything worked. I really think I picked that up from her and not asking for help. If I can do it, I would do it, even if it means learning it, but I'm going to try my best. So I really respect that trait in her. And she always did this with the biggest smile and the utmost kindness. And like I said, I have yet to see somebody that has as much patience as she has when life happens, things happen. I just remember cars in America in the 70s were not reliable, and her car was always breaking down. She had one instance when the car would only go in forward gear, not reverse gear, which
Wow.
I don't know how she, looking back, I mean, she only had one gear to go forward, and she had to remember to park it in such a way that she could only get out. And I can't even imagine if that happened to me or to my children today, how we would adjust. I mean, we would say the car is not drivable, and she did not have that do not or cannot in her vocabulary. She just, no matter what, she made it work. And yeah, she's a tiny woman, but she's very, very strong woman at that.
Yeah, mighty art she is.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, both of you, not both of you, maybe Anil, when you were growing up, you kind of saw your family, extended family coming together in the US,
Mhm.
and your father not making enough money at that time, um, and still your mother kind of wading through all the challenges and still trying to make everybody as comfortable as possible. You recollect any of those instances, you growing up? Could you sense that there are challenges and yet all of us are growing as family and still moving on peacefully?
Oh yes, yeah. I the one memory I have is we grew up in this our childhood home in Michigan City, Indiana, our hometown. Had so much love. Every one of my uncles, when they came from India, ev everybody lived in that house, at some point or the other. As when they first came, before they went to college, before they got their own homes and jobs. And the one thing about my mom is that even with limited resources, money, food, there was never a shortage of food. If like she still tells us, kids a story about she made enough food for the five of us, knowing that my dad's at work and he's going to come home. And, we all ate dinner together. That was a very good habit we had. We always ate dinner together. And no matter which uncle or which relative came, nobody left that house hungry, even if that meant, like we would come back from vacation. And one of the fondest memories I have of, most people come back from a vacation, they're really tired. They don't want to cook anything. My mom
Dal
made
dhokli.
dal dokli. um, simple dal,
Dhokli,
roti,
yeah.
right?
Dal dhokli.
Take roti and
आपको मालूम है दाल ढोकली?
Of course, we have it
but
every
I mean,
day.
you look at it today
नहीं, मैंने
and
कभी नहीं खाई थी. मैंने फर्स्ट
and
टाइम मामी ने बनाई
yeah,
तभी मैंने खाई. मैंने कभी नहीं खाई थी.
and that memory of how tasty. And looking back, I mean, that's like very simple, inexpensive, but I think made with love. It was, it was next level amazing. And that really, comes to mind that all of my uncles were well fed, their wives, their children. I mean, we, thanks to my father coming and then my mother joining him in the early 60s, I've lost count of how many Vermas we have in the US now, because it's like a tree, right?
Yeah.
They're the root. And it's grown, kids, grandkids, brothers and their wives and kids. And so I really, that house, our childhood home, when we recently sold it, very recently, we kept it all these years, even though my parents have moved back to India and settled. That house had so many memories that we were going to keep it, so that when my parents came to the US, that home was still there. And I think it was just very recently my father said, "Why are you guys keeping this home? Nobody's living in it." And very reluctantly we sold it, but we had a going away party that Sheila had lined up, and we invited everybody, the extended family, and me and Sam and Sheila. Like I said, we very rarely get together, but we were all there and just spent the day talking about the memories. And yeah, I mean, it was a happy send off. We wanted to remember the good times and everything about, a tree in the front yard. When my parents bought that house and built that house, there was a tree they planted in the front yard that was maybe 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's massive now. And I used to climb that. Sam and I used to climb that tree, and, just these little things. So I think without a mother's love, a house does not become a home. And
True.
you've been to Balajipuram, right? The mandir.
Yes.
There's that green and white house in Chitrakoot Dham.
Yes.
That whole story there. That's the house I'm talking about. That's 430 Ogden, and my parents will always have that house near to them, near and dear, right there. So it's, again, just attachment to the home, to the mother and father, and it's really what brings me back, more and more, and my family, to spend time with them.
Yeah. So were you married? Was your marriage arranged or?
Yes, it was.
Very traditional, actually. I'll let Ranjana tell the story. She was there at the engagement. You can talk. That was one of her favorite stories, actually.
My parents and mommy daddy came to see me. Bombay में हम लोग रहते थे तो देखने आए and everything, and he was in the US. तो मतलब हम लोग की मैरिज होने वाली थी, लेकिन जैसे जो मंदिर था उसका प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होनी थी, तो उसी हिसाब से हम लोग की वेडिंग जस्ट उसी समय हुई थी। उसी दिन शादी हुई, उसी दिन वो मंदिर खुला था प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के लिए। तो जब मंदिर खुला था उसी वक्त हम लोग की एक दिन पहले शादी हुई थी। तो डैडी ने ऐसे प्लान किया था कि शादी उसी मंदिर के, मतलब जो प्रोमाइसेस था वो पहले स्टेज था, वहीं पे हुई थी हमारी शादी।
तो शादी के बाद आपने कुछ टाइम
हाँ,
अपनी
वहां पे
मदर इन लॉ के साथ स्पेंड किया?
हम लोग एक ईयर के बाद में यहाँ आई थी अमेरिका।
Wow.
Yeah. तो उसके बाद
very traditional. My friends in the US are shocked, when they hear arranged marriage. Pretty much the best line I remember is, my parents met Ranjana, and they really were more interested in meeting her parents and seeing the family dynamics. And her family did not see me. I was in the US. So I met her and the whole family for the first time a week before our marriage. Engagement and everything was finalized. And what my dad said is, I've seen everything I need to see. I've seen the family. And if the family is good, his belief was, if the family, follows our dharam and is the way they are, then everything is good. And basically that has kept us happy and together. And yeah, it's shocking by today's standards, and especially for somebody like me born in the US, it's extremely shocking. But yeah, that's how we met. That's our story.
So you and Sam, both of you have arranged marriages, it seems.
Yes. Sam's wife is from Betul Bajar, very close to, actually, the VIP house in the same village that my mother and father were born. And Ranjana's family is from Mumbai, but my dad said, even though they lived in Mumbai, their values were as traditional, if not more traditional, than any girl that he has seen in the village. And because of modern times, even things have changed in the villages in India. So I think he really respected her parents' traditional values, the way they are. Living in a big city did not change, you know, the way she is, the way their values are. And for her to come to, you know, I live in a fairly mid-sized city in the U.S. in Michigan. This is like, you know, country living for her coming from Mumbai. But yeah, no, my dad has always been a very good judge of character, and you know, I think my mom and dad went with that openness and really were very happy and impressed that they live such a simple life, even though they live in Mumbai. And you know, the perception is a big city, you know, versus a small village, but it's he saw through that, and I think really saw their upbringing, their values, how they interact with each other, and that's you know, that's what worked for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Anil, you know, it's very easy for us men to think like men, you know, having some interest in reading and writing. So I started thinking after doing all the discussions with your family, if I were a girl myself, and if I had to live the life your mother lived, would I have been able to cope up with all of that? You know, I don't know. Being a man, it's just unthinkable for me. Maybe Ranjana, you would like to answer. You know, is there something different in women the way they think? At least some of them, to be able to garner enough patience, इतना धैर्य कि इतने सारे लोगों को एक साथ लेकर के चलना, अपने बारे में सोचना ही नहीं, सिर्फ दूसरों के बारे में सोचना। मुझे समझ में नहीं आता ये पॉसिबल कैसे होता होगा।
नहीं, like नील सेड कि वो शी इज वन ऑफ अ काइंड। मुझे, मैं हमेशा उनको इतना हंसाती हूँ और मुझे कॉम्प्लीमेंट भी मिला कि मैंने इतना उतना हंसाती, लेकिन मैंने कहा अगर हम 1% किया, एक फ्रैक्शन भी अगर उनका बन जाए, तो आई थिंक लाइफ इज, बिकॉज यू वो होता है ना, जैसे आप सोचते हैं जस्ट, आई डोंट थिंक सो शी एवर इमिडिएटली थॉट अबाउट हर ओन फैमिली। जैसे कि उनके 3 बेबीज हैं और एक हस्बैंड है जो कि यू नो ही वाज मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम क्रिएटिंग हिज ओन यू नो एम्बिशंस एंड एवरीथिंग। लेकिन मुझे द वे शी टुक केयर ऑफ, मेरे ख्याल से जनरेशन उन्होंने जिस तरीके से रेस किया, आई डोंट थिंक सो। आप भी देखिए, आप इंडिया के, मतलब मैं आपसे भी कह रही हूँ कि मुझे नहीं मालूम कोई ऐसा है अभी तक। और जैसे कि आपने बहुत अच्छा बोला कि एक होता है कि आपको करना है, यू नो, बिकॉज you're told to do that way,
हम
एंड एक होता है कि आप अपने दिल से
करना
लगातार
चाहते हैं।
क्वाइटली, हाँ, मतलब उनका एक पैटर्न है, यू विल नेवर सी हर लाइक एक एक तरीके का। मैंने, मतलब मैं इतने साल तो हो गए हैं कि मैं ये कह सकती हूँ कि आई हैव सीन हर लाइक, जब मेरी बात आती है तो मुझे कुछ भी खा मतलब आता था, जैसे बेसिक आता था, लेकिन बट इट्स अ मतलब आई थिंक सो, मैं मदर इन लॉ तो उन्हें कभी नहीं कहूंगी। शी इज जस्ट माई मॉम, बिकॉज जिस तरीके से उन्होंने मुझे जैसे करा कि हाँ ऐसे भी हो सकता है, थिंग्स कैन बी सिंपल, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड, यू कैन मेक इट, इट विल बी गुड, डोंट थिंक, यू नो, जैसे ओवर थिंक करते हैं हम लोग, यू नो, व्हेन यू कम फ्रॉम दैट प्लेस एंड यू हैव टू एडजस्ट टू सो मेनी थिंग्स। और यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी एक एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली थी, बट शी मेड श्योर दैट शी यूज्ड टू कम बिकॉज ऑफ मी। एंड देन मुझे हर त्योहार, वो हमारे घर में उन्होंने हर एक त्योहार मनाया है सो दैट मैं देखूं, क्योंकि फोन पे बताना जैसे कि ये त्योहार है, ऐसे करते वैसे करते नहीं। शी मेड श्योर वेन एवर शी टू विजिट टू इंडिया, सॉरी अमेरिका, उन्होंने सारे फेस्ट, सारे त्योहार हमारे घर में किए हैं, सो दैट बिकॉज हम और हमारे जो भैया हैं, सैम भैया, वो एक 1 आवर की डिस्टेंस पे रहते हैं, तो वहां पे एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली है, लेकिन हम थोड़े से अलग रहते हैं क्योंकि उनकी जॉब इधर है। बट ही मेड श्योर कि जितने भी हमारे त्योहार हैं उन्होंने मेरे घर पे किया, सो दैट इफ आई कैन सी इट देन आई लर्न इट। राइटिंग तो मैं लिखती हूँ सब कुछ जो भी बोलती, बट शी मेड श्योर कि वो सारे फेस्टिवल्स उन्होंने मेरे इस घर में किए हैं, सो दैट आई सी इट एंड आई नेवर, कुछ तो याद रहेगा ना, इफ यू कैन नॉट रिमेंबर एवरीथिंग, यू विल रिमेंबर समथिंग अबाउट इट। बट हाँ, आपने जैसा कहा कि इतने हम लोग हो गए हैं ओल्ड, मतलब हमने ऐसा कोई नहीं मिला जो कंप्लेन, मतलब वो कर अच्छा लगेगा भी, बट एट द सेम टाइम कोई कंप्लेन तो कुछ तो निकलेगा कि यार दैट यू नो, आई विश ऐसा होता, आई विश वैसा होता। कभी भी, कभी भी, कभी भी कुछ नहीं कहती थी वो। आई डोंट नो हाउ शी मैनेज, जैसे आपने सही कहा I don't know. She's one of a kind. कि मतलब अपने बच्चे खुद बोले तो समझ में आता है, बट जैसे हम लोग हैं एक्सटेंडेड, आप कोई एक को नहीं ढूंढ पाएंगे आप, लेकिन जैसे आप सिर्फ हम ही लोग से बात करें, हमारे अमेरिका में एटलीस्ट और कम से कम 40 30 तो हैं और लोग अमेरिका वर्माज हैं, फैमिली हैं। आप एक को भी नहीं ढूंढ पाएंगे ऐसा कोई कि जो ये कहेगा एंड शी इज अ फ्लॉलेस पर्सनालिटी, लाइक फ्लॉलेस जैसे होता है ना, कोई ढूंढ ही नहीं सकते आप उनमें फ्लॉ, और मिलेगा भी नहीं आपको कभी लाइफ टाइम में, तो नहीं मिलने वाला, क्योंकि इट्स अ ग्रोथ पैटर्न, यू स्टार्ट लाइक दैट एंड देन ग्रेजुअली बिकम्स अ हैबिट, और हैबिचुअल हो जाते हैं कि आप अच्छे हैं तो बस आप अच्छे ही रहेंगे।
सही है।
मतलब हाँ,
और ये
मैं तो हमेशा
या प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, आपने बहुत अच्छा कहा कि आप अपना इतना टाइम दे रहे हैं, बट या आप मिल चुके हैं, बट देयर इज नोबडी लाइक हर। मैंने तो मतलब अपने कैप्शन में भी डाला था कि शी शुड लिव almost 100 years because of I 1 or 2 times she got sick when she was in Chennai, and बीमार हो गया, मतलब कुछ हो गया था, तो फिर she had to leave, and then Neil left also with her, so then I was by myself, and I every single day I cried, and I was so close to flying out to Chennai. I said, with that VIP house, without you I cannot even think, मैं ऐसा सोच ही नहीं सकती आपके बगैर उस घर में आना। मतलब I'm so used to her that मैंने कहा I cannot even think without you.
तो जूडी अवार्ड का सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज यही होगा कि उनके जैसा जूडी ढूंढना इज गोइंग टू बी अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क। इट्स लाइक फाइंडिंग अ
हाँ,
नीडल इन द
क्योंकि
हेयरस्टाइल।
आप जैसे आपने कहा कि जैसे आप किसी को अगर चुनेंगी भी, तो एटलीस्ट आप 10 लोग तो ऐसे होने चाहिए जो उस इंसान के बारे में ऐसी बात करें ना कि जो इट्स वर्थ इट, कि हाँ
एग्जैक्ट।
ये माँ है। माँ तो बच्चों के लिए होती है, उसके बाद आउट ऑफ हर फैमिली, इफ एटलीस्ट इवन 5 people can say the same thing about that person, then it's
वेरी
worth
ट्रू।
it. Yeah.
वेरी ट्रू।
तो अभी आपने ढूंढने शुरू कर दिया है?
हाँ, हमने ढूंढना शुरू कर दिया, नहीं मिल रहा, कोई नहीं मिल
आप आपकी मैं आपका काम तो और बढ़ गया, आप तो रियली यू आर डूइंग अ
रहा।
वेरी ऑसम जॉब, लाइक बहुत
So what do
difficult.
you think? Sam Verma Senior, will he ever delegate any easy task to anyone? I
Yeah,
mean,
you're right.
No, he has all these challenges. He has this other challenge. He's trying to find somebody to give all of this money to that will find a worthy cause. And he has yet to find somebody in India. He says that is the toughest challenge. That's what he keeps saying. He says, what am I going to do with all this money? He said, I dare somebody to take this and find a worthy cause. And he said, nobody till date has found it. So yeah, he's definitely a
नहीं,
very
मैं
interesting person. You probably could equally get an award
नहीं, it's
for my
your
father
father. Yeah,
and come
that
up
is true.
with
That is true. As much as we are talking about mommy, but about daddy, I mean, I should say, इस तरीके का विल पावर मैंने किसी में भी नहीं देखा है. When it comes to food, when it comes to his ambitions, मतलब you can go all day long talking about him. जिस तरीके से वो सोचते हैं, मुझे नहीं लगता ऐसा कोई सोच सकता है. He is way ahead of his time. मतलब
absolutely.
जब उन्होंने करा तो कोई नहीं कर सकता था, जब उन्होंने एयरलाइन की किसी ने सोचा भी नहीं था कि कोई एयरलाइन अपनी कर भी सकता है, तो ही इज वे अहेड ऑफ हिज टाइम। मतलब मैंने सोचा कि अगर एक इंसान मामी डैडी जैसा भी कोई निकल जाए, बहुत बड़ी बात होगी।
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that both of our parents have kept us so grounded because in this country, I have many Indian friends, my father's friends, their children born here, their parents were born in India, just like me, and they have no attachment to India. They're almost ashamed of India. They won't take their own children to visit India because it's hot, it's smelly, it's this, and it burns me inside hearing that mother and father born in India have children here, and within one generation they've lost that identity with their motherland. And what my parents did for us, we're doing the same for ours. And my dad has already envisioned many generations down the road. Rishi and Akshay's children. Sam's son Rishi and my son Akshay. He's already set plans in place for 3 generations from now that he can guarantee that they will follow the family path. That's how forward thinking he is. And with my mother's blessings. I think she has kept him grounded. And my dad built homes. My dad had a choice of any of 80 different houses in Michigan City, in my hometown, for us to live in. And my mother always said, I'm happy here. And
Yeah.
what you see in the Mandir, that 430 Ogden, is about a good representation of the home in Michigan City and also my home here in Michigan. My mom came here and she said this house reminds her of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our
Same
house.
single floor, single story architecture. And so, I think it's very important that we have that foundation. And now third generation is following that. It's humble, and I give all the credit to them, to my
Yeah.
mom and dad. Yeah.
So thank you very much, and we'll take a 5 minutes break, and then I will we can re-log in, and I'll talk to your kids.
Okay,
Thank
so
you for
you
your
want to
time.
just send that link, and then they can connect
They
with
can use the
the
same
WhatsApp.
link I sent you.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah,
very
thank you for
good.
your time.
Yeah, thank you very
बहुत
much.
अच्छा
It
लगा
was
आपसे
nice to
बात
meet
करके.
you.
Same
Jai
here.
Okay.
Balaji.
जय
Jai
बालाजी.
Balaji. Thank you.
Yeah.
जय बालाजी.